Hey, welcome everybody to RCJ In the Spotlight. I'm your host, Keith Davidson, coming to you live from our home studios here at RCJ Productions. I want to thank everybody for joining us every Wednesday for our different shows that we're featuring each week. And last week we featured Coffee Table Chronicles. The week before we did Bios to Books. The week before that we did Truth About Beer. So definitely appreciate you hanging out with us. Tonight, I do not have any specific guests, so we're going to kind of recap. Hey, Christine, how you doing tonight? Going to kind of recap, some of the um, productions that we've done thus far, and some of our continuing shows that you can watch, you can catch weekly. Um, give you a little snippets of it tonight, and see if we can get you interested. Hopefully, we get some new people that jump on tonight. So those of you that haven't joined us and are new to RCJ in the Spotlight, we have RCJ Productions, which is a production company that was started to basically produce The Truth About Beer, which was the first podcast that myself and my partner Joey did. And that was back in 2019. So, we wanted to have a production company to be able to run everything through. So that kind of evolved and we started developing other shows. Some of them stemmed off from The Truth About Beer. Others came about a little bit later on. So, just to give you some of the other shows that we do real quick, we have, like I said before, The Truth About Beer and which is one of our shows. We have Bios to Books. We have Coffee Table Chronicles. We have Parapalooza. And we have Straight Up Paranormal. So we have a couple of other channels that I will be featuring in the next couple of weeks, but just wanted to kind of highlight the ones that are up and running continuously. So maybe get you guys interested in checking something else out. So let's kick it off with The Truth About Beer. And if you guys watched the episode where I had Joey on, we were talking about kind of how we got started back in 2019. Joey and I were musicians together, and we decided we want to start a podcast, and came to a conclusion that we want to talk about beer and music. Well, we both had a mutual interest in the paranormal as well. So we started kind of diverting off, doing a little bit of paranormal investigating, and really kind of took over our season. Probably our season 2 and most of season 3 was paranormal, but now we're in season 4, which we just kicked off. We're getting back to our roots and doing a little bit more about music. So for those of you who like beer and music, it's a great show to check out. It's a lot of fun. I'm just going to show you guys a little snippet of our latest episode that we released for season 4. It's a new series we're kicking off called wrong one. Let me get the right one up there. Now that's Music to My Beers is the title of the series. And our first episode was Who Are You? Featured myself, Papa Joey, Jeff, the Guru of the Suds, and Gentry Lee. And there's another gentleman that's part of the group who will be on future episodes. But in that episode, we kind of talked about, how we got started as musicians, how we knew each other, and, kind of our similar likes in music and beer. So it was a really, really neat little episode. We had a lot of fun. I'm going to play a little snippet for you guys so you can see. This is from the latest episode. You can check it out on YouTube. So this is Truth About Beer, and here's a little snippet of our first episode we did for season 4. I'm curious what your guys' take is on this. So my question to you would be, since we've all been playing music for roughly the same amount of time, what are your thoughts on how the music industry has changed over the years? I mean, honestly, do you think it's ever going to revert back to where it was? Do you think it's just going to keep going down?
It's going to keep going down. That's how I see it. And you've been able to track the progression of the definition of music success over the years. I think beginning with the fact that, I don't know, this is going to be way too much information, but by the time the Beatles got started, they didn't think they would make it because guitar bands were on the decline.
Right.
And they were told that by, I can't remember the record label, but we're not interested in you. And then, but albums used to be a thing. And then you saw albums were no longer a thing. It was singles,
Right.
And then with the rise of Napster and LimeWire and all those file sharing things, singles became the thing. And then the internet became a thing. And it's like nobody's interested if it's not something you can download for 99 cents on iTunes, and it's just a true shame. And I will say that, and I'm sorry I hijacked this conversation, but
No, you're good. I want to hear.
well, one of my favorite bands ever, not so much anymore because they've gotten away from their own selves, but the Arctic Monkeys are touted as really the first band that made it entirely on social media. Uh, and
All right, so that was a little snippet of our first episode we did in that series, in the music series. It's a lot of fun. We talk about, like I said, we talk about how we got started in the music industry, what our likes, what our dislikes are, and if you like music, if you're interested, I think everybody's into listening to music, some type of music, one way or another. But I think it's pretty fascinating, how we talk about the different genres, and it's going to continue throughout the series. So our next one we're filming this coming weekend is going to be on heavy metal. I'm not a huge fan of heavy metal. I never really been. But it's going to be interesting to meet with some of the people who do like heavy metal and kind of talk about maybe its evolution over the years. So it'll be a fun episode to do. Of course, there'll be beer involved. There's always beer involved. So if you like beer, you like music, or even if you don't like beer, but you still like music, it's a good series to check out. It's a lot of fun. Get to know the group kind of on a personal level. So I really enjoyed it. So, so next up, we're going to talk about another show that we do, and it airs every Friday, 7 o'clock Arizona time. Now that we're in the time change, I have to say Arizona time and not Mountain time. So it's called Coffee Table Chronicles, and it's a fun show. It's a little bit different than anything I've done in the past, just because it tends to be a little bit on the political side. But it's a platform where people with like ideas and even unlike ideas can come together and have a conversation about different topics. We try to stay with current events as much as possible, but we don't always want to be doom and gloom. So we tend to have a little bit of fun in the process. It's myself, Lindsay, and our two good friends, John and Wendy. They're a couple that we've known for a few years now. And it's just a lot of fun to get together. There's a little bit of drinking involved on that show too. We usually go toward the whiskey, but it's just a fun show to come together. We have great group of people that follow us, so everybody engages in on the conversations. We usually try to add a little bit of humor into it, so it's like I said, it's not all doom and gloom every episode. So it's a lot of fun. We have a good time, and like I said, everybody in the audience that jumps on always adds to the conversation, which is really what the show is all about. It's about striking up a conversation with people, even if you have a different outlook or a different thought process than we do. We want to have that conversation, and maybe we can understand the points that we don't agree with, or maybe and vice versa. Maybe they can understand where we're coming from on certain things. So that's really kind of the goal. And I chose Coffee Table Chronicles for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was less likely to get us kicked off any social media platform because it's not a controversial name, but at the same time, it's really just what you would do just sitting around the coffee table, just drinking coffee and shooting the shit. And that's really what the show is about. We try to steer it towards a particular topic, and we don't always stay on topic just because, we talk about one subject and it brings up another subject and we kind of get off base a little bit. But I think that's what makes it fun is we, really anything can come up in the episode. And I'll play an example of that here in a minute. But this Friday we have an episode coming up. It's our 30th episode. Hard to believe it's our 30th episode, but we're calling it America's Resolve. And I think it's going to be a good episode. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about some of the events that have happened really over the last 2-3 years, and really where the country stands and where we think the country might be headed. So it'd be a good conversation. Join in. There's usually a quiz at the end of the night, so it's a lot of fun to participate. We let the audience participate with us. We're going to start giving away some gifts and everything for the winners of the quiz. But it's really cool because some of them really test your knowledge. Some of them are just fun quizzes to do, but some of them will test your knowledge, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of a neat thing to do. So sometimes the show we pick a topic, and sometimes it creates some heated discussion between the group. And that's what really makes it fun, because even though we tend to be on the same side when it comes to things, and I don't want to say we pick sides, but we tend to have the same thought process when it comes to certain topics, but occasionally somebody will stray off from that a little bit. And I just think it's a lot of fun, because it does get kind of heated sometimes, because somebody will be strong belief in something, and it'll spark a conversation, but usually at the end we come together and everything is good again. But it's interesting to see how certain things work out, because then you start to go, it brings up a point maybe that the opposite point of view thinks and you disagree with, but then when they start talking about that opposite point, you start going, well, maybe they got some validity to that, or maybe there's some rationale to that. But I have to play it a little bit differently, but I'm going to switch over a screen and let you watch a little snippet of that, which is probably one of my favorite little, I don't want to say altercation, but heated moment that we got to on the show. So I'll kind of set the stage for you. The title of the show was our elections. It was episode 21. We were talking about elections, and we somehow got off on the topic of immigration, and perfect example of what I was talking about. We'll start on a subject, but we'll get off on something totally different, and it created kind of a heated little conversation between the four of us. And you look back at it now, and it was kind of fun. And I just want to share a little bit of that with you, so you guys can get a taste of what the show is about. So let me switch over my screens, and I'll play it for you.
Easier, I 100% would not make you feel as if you have a green card, you need to be able to do it.
Then that's
Because the people who have a green card can't get their citizenship, because it is so much bullshit. Nobody knows this. It is the stupidest shit in the world that has nothing to do with real life.
But you know what? I have the utmost respect for anybody who goes through the procedure.
Absolutely. And does it on their
goes
own.
through all the steps
It's
to become
so
a
hard.
U.S. citizen.
It's
so what about
hard.
So what about the hundreds of millions that have
already done
and
it?
made it done?
I 100% bow down to them, because
so now does everybody
I can't
else?
make it.
Because this is the argument that
I can't
that
make it.
legal immigrants have said.
We've had
So
to do
why
that.
does everybody else
Right.
get to cut in line?
Exactly. And I get that, but that's why it needs to change. You're
Yes,
going to have
it needs to be.
You're going to have one generation of people pissed off because they had to do it the hard way, as opposed to the new people have to do it the new way. But it is so ridiculous. My medical book is this thick. It's thicker.
But the
But you
point,
pass
can't
that
change.
test.
But you can't change the voting laws.
exactly.
No.
Based
You're
on
looking
that.
at
You
the
need-
wrong topic that needs to be changed or
So-
looked at.
So
then.
my issue
Absolutely.
is you want to make every citizen to be a voter. I agree with that. That's fine. But you need to make that citizen test easier, so that
That's
the
your
people
point,
who
right.
have a green card, who are on that edge, who would love to become a citizen but can't pass that test, that still doesn't change the fact that they've been paying taxes, that they've been abiding by our rules and our laws and everything. That doesn't change that.
So then basically
Like,
what you're
those
saying
people
is,
still, to my respect, you are a citizen.
so becoming a doctor is way hard,
Fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep.
right? So they should, because of that, and we are such
Should
a
we make
shortage,
it easier?
we should make it easier.
Fuck yeah, they should.
And they
Because
should make being a pilot
99% of my nurse practitioners that I know are smarter than doctors.
but they make,
Because as you're a doctor, you have to specify in one thing to pass that test, and that is your only job, is to pass that test.
wasn't this a commercial a couple years ago about
Maybe.
that
I don't know.
commercial, the whatever the commercial was, whew, yeah, just pass it
It
finally.
is hard, Dad, and I studied it, and I couldn't fucking pass it. Okay.
But here's
Well,
the thing: to
But do
win,
you want your pilot that had that to fly your plane that had the test lowered so that way you
No.
can pass?
You're right.
If it still permits him to do the job and have the qualities to do the job, absolutely, that's
But
fine.
So you're saying that
But
there
if you're
should be a
lowering
minimum.
the quality, the
You're not lowering the qualities.
Oh, now Bios
I'm
the Bush
saying-
getting mad.
Now you made him mad. Oh,
Yeah, you
all right,
made
I'm
him mad.
dial
not
it back,
saying-
Dan.
I'm not saying take away from the main.
So it's so it's a lot of fun. Even you can see that the audience really does get passionate about what we're talking about, and it really is an all encompassing show. So the audience gets involved with our conversation. We can post the comments on there. We can put the comments up. So it really is a lot of fun. Even though we like I said, there's been a few times we've had some heated moments, but all in all, it's great topic. Like I said, we try to make it fun as much as possible. Don't want it all doom and gloom, but you know, it's it's cool. Yes, Lindsay, that was you getting all riled up. So, yeah, you know, it's a fun show. If you guys, you know, whether you're political or not, we cover a lot of topics that I think that are important to people, whether or not you're political. So I think it's a good show if you want to come together, even express your point of view. If you don't agree with us and have a different point of view, absolutely, we welcome that on the show. So we just can't seem to get any guests on the show that want to disagree with us. Everybody who wants to come on the show agrees with us. So it makes it a little bit difficult to find an opposing comments. So, but yeah, check it out. We are on Rumble. We are on YouTube. We stream from Facebook. And I want to stress Rumble to everybody. I did a poll on LinkedIn not too long ago, asking if anybody even knows what Rumble is. And surprisingly, I think 50% of the people said they've never heard of Rumble or have never been on Rumble. And it's a shame because, you know, as we talk about, as in our media, we talk about that, you know, censorship is becoming more and more with the different outlets and social media outlets. There needs to be platforms where people can still speak their mind. And there are, and you're starting to see more of these pop up. They just did Truth Social, that is Donald Trump's social media site, which has a year waiting list on it. That just goes to show you how much people are looking for outlets to be able to, you know, talk about topics without being censored. So I think, you know, Rumble is a great place to do that. If you haven't checked Rumble out, go check it out. You know, you don't necessarily have to sign up for an account to look at videos and stuff. You can still search us out. But if you want to participate in any of the shows and have conversation and text back and forth, then you have to sign up for an account. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a little cumbersome to start it up. You got to enter in some information. But other than that, once you're in, and it's pretty simple to use. And we really try to support Rumble because, like I said, that right there, you know, typically would get you kicked off most social media sites, you know, having the conversations we have, and knock on wood, luckily we've been good so far. We haven't been knocked off YouTube or Facebook for that matter, surprisingly. So pretty thankful for that. But you know, the day may come where it happens. So we need these platforms, you know, like Getter, Gab, and Rumble to be able to still talk about our point of view, whether it's, you know, from our side of the aisle or somebody else's side. We still need to be able to have those conversations. And I think that's really important. And that's what I think we enjoy most about doing the show, is that we get to get the point across. So, so yeah, go check that out. Go support us. Go support us on Rumble if you can. Even if you just look us up and give us a Rumble, give us a subscription, you know, help us build the channel. And that's really the purpose of the show, is to talk about, you know, the different programs that we produce and to try to get more attention to them. Because like I think I've mentioned a couple of times now on the show that the you know, the what do you call it? I can't even think of the name of what they call it. The algorithms. Thank you. I couldn't remember it. But anyway, the algorithms that, you know, YouTube uses, that Facebook uses, that Instagram uses, Twitter uses, you know, a lot of times you'll post something and your friends will never see it. You know, you have to cycle through, you know, a million posts to even get to see your post. So unless you're constantly posting every 5 minutes, you're going to miss posts that come along. We see it all the time. You know, we advertise our shows, you know, whether it's Truth About Beer or Coffee Table Chronicles, we advertise weekly and they get missed. People go, I never saw you, you know, advertise this week's show or anything like that. So it does get missed. So I think it's important to do shows like this where people come on live and actually get to see the different channels that we do, because then they go, oh, that might be something I'm interested in. I'm going to go check it out. I'll go subscribe. I'll go watch their show, you know, whatever it is. So I think that's why doing this show is so important, because it's going to bring a little bit more attention to the shows that we do. I think we have great content on all the shows that we do. They're just a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to watch. And the good thing about, you know, I did another poll a long time ago. I think I mentioned this on the first episode I did here, was, you know, how long should a podcast be? There's so many different opinions on how long a podcast be. And I think it really depends on how you listen to podcasts. You know, if you're somebody who's cleaning the house and you listen to Joe Rogan for 3.5 hours, you know, you can do that because you're busy, you're working, you're listening to it in the background. That's fine. If you're somebody that's looking for specific things like how to hang a ceiling fan or how to change, a fan belt or something like that. You want something specific, you want it short, you want it to the point. So I really think it depends on what you're looking to get out of the podcast. If you're looking for entertainment value, I don't really think it matters how long a podcast is. It depends on what kind of time you have to listen to it, whether you're listening to it on your way to work, whether you're listening to it during work, which most people probably can, or just, like I said, just cleaning the house or while you're working out, whatever it may be. So, I think all our shows vary in length. And, again, depending on what you're trying to get out of a podcast, I think we have a good variety. And on some of the shows that we do go long, we'll put out little snippets of the show, kind of like what I just showed you. For Coffee Table Chronicles, we call it Coffee Table Crumbs. For Truth About Beer, we got TTAVA Chasers coming out soon. So that's going to be just little snippets of our episodes, because our episodes tend to run long. They could be 2.5 hours. So, people don't always have the time to listen to it all the way through. And that's the beauty of it. So, with YouTube, you can listen to a half hour and say, all right, I'll come back to this later on, and come back to it and listen to it. So, and trust me, we appreciate the views. So I think that's the beauty of having the YouTube, because it's, you have the audio plus you have the video. If you want to see some of the crazy things that we do, you have the opportunity to do that. So I think it's really cool to do that. So yeah, let me go through, for those of you who are just joining us on the show, go through some of the programs that we feature here at RCJ Productions. Again, RCJ Productions is a production company, and we produce right now 6 different shows, YouTube channels, and podcasts. So I don't feature them all here, and we will feature the other ones down the line. But we got Truth About Beer, which is about beer and music, basically whatever we feel like talking about. And it's usually on the lighter side. It's nothing, we don't get into politics. We don't get anything like that. It's just kicking back, drinking beer, and talking about things that we have an interest in, whether it's music, whether it's paranormal, whatever it may be at the time. We'll talk about it. We got Bios to Books, which is hosted by my dad, and it features up and coming authors. It's a great show. If you're interested in writing, if you're interested in reading, it's a great show, because it'll turn you on to different works of literature that you might be interested in. And, he really sits down with up and coming authors and talks about their struggles, what it took to get them going, even to find out what their passion is. How do they become passionate about writing? It's a great show if you're a reader, if you like to read, even if you're not. I mean, you can even, because we talk about how everything's on audiobooks now and different things like that. So you can, I think it's a great show for a variety of different people. So check that out. They are on YouTube. It's Bios to Books. And then we have, like I said, Coffee Table Chronicles, which is just a live show every Friday. So you can check that out when you get a chance. It is political, and it does get kind of tense, as you saw. So it's still a lot of fun. It's fun to see who we have different segments of the show, and probably one of the most popular segments of the show is called the Hooker of the Week. And we feature just somebody just to rag on every week. And, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see who gets nominated week by week. So we've had some repeats too. So some people made Hooker of the Week a couple of times during the season. Then we've got Parapalooza, which is a lot of fun for all you people who are interested in paranormal. Even if you're not and you thought you might be interested, check it out, because it's really cool. There's a big group of people on there. We've reached out across the country to different paranormal groups, and this really started taking place when COVID hit, because all the events for paranormal people were shut down, and they were just non-existent for 6 months. And we decided amongst us, we said, it'd be nice to do a virtual Paracon. So we did. We created Parapalooza, got people from all over the country. We even had some people overseas too that joined in on it. It was great. It was a great event. Our first one was absolutely the best. We didn't even know, we thought it was going to just flop on its face, but it did not. It was awesome. The first one was very cool, and just got to meet so many different people in the paranormal community. And, it sparked a lot of different shows, based off of Parapalooza, and a lot of our fan base came from Parapalooza. So we decided to continue doing it, even though things are open back up now and people getting out to Paracons, which is really cool. But it's still a cool event, because not everybody, can afford to fly to LA to go to a Paracon, or they can't afford to fly to Arizona to go to a Paracon. So this kind of brings the Paracon to them. So it's a good way for them to be able to participate. It's free to the people who want to participate. We don't charge, we don't pay speakers. We don't charge anything. and it's just a fun time. It's usually a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we were doing it twice a year, but we're going to cut it down to once a year just because everything is open back up. And we don't think we're going to get quite the groups that we had just because there's so much other stuff going on now. So we're going to do it once a year in the fall. So look for that. Parapalooza will be coming up in October. So it's, like I said, it's a really good time. If you like paranormal stuff or you're just interested in paranormal, there's so many different stories on there. Like I said, you get all kinds of different people on there. You get UFOs, you get aliens, you get ghosts, you get demonologists, you get just spiritual people. It's a very cool platform. So go check that out. And then another show that was a lot of fun. We haven't done it in a while just because, again, everything's open back up. So it's been tougher to have people come on because everybody's so busy. But Straight Up Paranormal, we did a show called Paranormal Partners, and this was hosted by Lindsay and myself. And it was a really fun show because what I enjoyed about it was we met all these great people during Parapalooza, which was a lot of fun. And we got to see the side of them as they investigate. We got to see who they were while they're investigating, how they interact with the spirits and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. But we didn't know, like what got you drawn to this? What brought you into this? I mean, you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a paranormal investigator. There's got to be something. And you start to see commonalities in it. Either it's a husband and wife team, or it's brother and sister, or it's just a couple of friends who maybe had a paranormal experience when they were kids. And as technology develops and things get better, they start to go, well, maybe I want to start to get answers as to why I experienced these things when I was younger. And some people are just, like I said, if it's a husband and wife team, maybe the wife had the experience and the husband gets sucked into it, and they start doing it together. So it was a lot of fun to really meet these people on a personal level. We talked about how they met, how they got, what made them get married, stuff like that. It's not like a counseling session or anything, but it's just a lot of fun to get to know these people more on a personal level than a business side of things as far as the paranormal investigating goes. So go check that out if you get a chance. I don't remember how many episodes we did, but we do quite a few. We had some really cool guests on there, so you guys will really enjoy that. So as always, we appreciate your support. We'd love for you to go to these channels, even if, and I know this sounds stupid, but even if you guys really aren't interested in something, please go subscribe anyway, because subscriptions help us out. It helps us. The more subscriptions we have, the more it gets us out in front of people. The more popular the channel becomes. And that's really what we want. We just want to get out in front of people. We're not making any money to do this. We just do it. We're doing it right now because of the passion. Maybe someday we can make money doing it. It'd be a lot of fun. But at this point, YouTube does not pay us. Facebook does not pay us. We do not get paid to do this. This is all because we enjoy doing this. We enjoy bringing the entertainment to you guys. And so we really appreciate, your support any way you can help us out, whether it's subscribing to our channel, whether it's going to watch our episodes and leave a comment. Let us know. There's a lot of people that leave some really good feedback, or they make suggestions. They say, hey, I'd love for you to cover this topic, especially on Coffee Table Chronicles. If there's something you want us to cover, let us know. We'll do the research on it. We'll bring up the topic. Same with Truth About Beer. If you got a paranormal situation that you've dealt with, you want to talk about it, even if you want to be a guest on one of our shows, reach out to us. Let us know. We don't know until you reach out to us. And that could be as simple as going on YouTube, watching our episode, making a comment. I get all the comments. They come to me. So I'll reply to them, once you send it over. So whatever you guys can do to support us, we really appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to any of our channels. Totally free. We're not going to be bombarding you with emails or fan letters or anything like that. We just want support, and we want to continue doing what we're doing and entertain you, the audience. So again, thank you so much for everybody who has supported us over the years. We truly appreciate it. We do have a lot of people that follow us. We do have a lot of people that are loyal to us, and I'm telling you, you don't know how much that means to us to be able to get up here and do this, whether it's on a weekly basis or pre-recorded, it doesn't matter. We know the audience is going to be receptive to it. So I think that's what makes it so powerful for us. So that's about it. We're about out of time. We got 30 seconds left, I think. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Again, please go subscribe to our channels. We really, really, really appreciate it. And give us a comment. Let us know what you think. And join us this Friday night for Coffee Table Chronicles. I think it's going to be a good show. It may even get a little heated. I don't know, but we'll see. So anyway, have a great rest of the week, everybody. And we'll see you guys Friday night. Thank you so much.